Conference recording has started, but where is my video camera? Come on, baby.
Come on, baby.
Is it recording there on the volume?
It's screen, sir.
Yes, we have recording. Fantastic. I'd like to welcome Cadet Erica Razo, former Cadet Erica Razo, now Private First Class Erica Razo, back to ROTC. She's here to tell you about her experiences as a freshman. These are mainly freshmen, and actually we have some up to seniors. And how she went from Prescott High School to a trained killer in the Army, ready to go to Afghanistan to protect our wishes in Afghanistan. So please give her a round of applause. And
Thank you. As Colonel said, my name is Private First Class Erica Razo, and I am 88 Mike, which is an armored transport driver. I drive big trucks and Hummers that have a lot of planing on them that protect personnel inside and also hauls anything. We are the spearhead of logistics. Woo. First, I'd like to tell you where I've been.
teach them to say hooah.
Okay, so the Army is, we have different, as you know, the Marines say hoorah, and then we say huh, okay? And so pretty much after anything you do, it goes huh, and it gets louder and louder and louder until you say it loud enough that other people are pleased. Like drill sergeants, you will sit there and say huh about 17 times before they get happy. Which is not bad because drill sergeants are actually really amazing people. They will take care of you as long as you let them. Don't purposely get yourself in trouble. It's not worth it. It really is not. Basic training is really easy. Question?
Can we hear you do the hua?
Okay.
Let them do it.
All right. One.
Well, you can call them. You outrank them. You can call them to attention.
Group attention! On the count of 3, I'd like to hear a big who. 1, 2, 3. Alright, sit down.
Is that weak or what?
Not too shabby. Not too shabby for their first time.
You gotta do that every 5 minutes to keep you guys awake.
Oh, yes. That's one of my favorite things. Like, after we accomplish one big truck in our AIT, which is our school training, we say that a lot, especially to the different sergeants that we're leaving, is that each station, each truck that you're learning, you have different instructors, different sergeants that you're listening to and obtaining information from. Like I said, I just got out of basic and AIT training and heading to Fort Campbell, and then getting pre-deployment training, and then going to Sharon, Afghanistan. From what I hear, you never know because the Army does change its mind, and you are in service of the people and of the government. So I think it's a really great thing. Well, first I'm going to talk about where I went to basic, which is Fort Sill, Oklahoma, which should be coming up on Google Earth soon. It's an interesting place. It has very dramatic weather. Like when I went to basic training on September 1st of 2012, I got there and it was 102 degrees, like Phoenix weather. It's really hot. It was very nice. And then the next week it was actually snowing, which was really great for people who got sick and all sorts of stuff.
I think I got Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
It's kind of like right in the middle of the United States, but the closest town to Fort Sill, Oklahoma is Lawton, and there's not a lot to do in Lawton except go to a pool, which we never got to do. It was basic training, and you got to stay at your base and with your drill sergeants.
You went then to Missouri?
Then I went to Missouri for AIT training. For AIT training is what your job is, what your MOS is. Like I went there for 88 Mike school, which is pretty dang awesome. I love it. Fort Leonard Wood was the coldest place I've ever been to in my life. But I overcame it, and I have a score of 300 on my PT test, which is the highest score you can get to earn a lot of things. Like, it gets me a lot of promotion points for earning that high of a score. I can do about 80 push-ups in 2 minutes. I can do 85 sit-ups in two minutes, and I can run a 16-minute 2-mile, which is double your mile. So it's really awesome. You learn when you begin basic training. You start out, not being able to do your maximum, but your body gets so used to the training and the everyday exercise, the weapon carrying, the load you're carrying, that you become stronger, you become more confident in yourself, more able to do different things. I've gained so much confidence since I've been in the Army. I walk taller, I talk better. I talk more confident. I've gained so much from the Army, and just what it's done for me is amazing. What we normally do for PT, speaking of push-ups and sit-ups and running, this is our winter gear. In the summer, you have a t-shirt. As you can see, this is like a dress on me, because this is actually my fiance's. I actually took it from him when he was home for Christmas on accident. And then these are our shorts. It's pretty much just like your guys' PT gear. But with that, we have spandex underneath, so it's more for your protection and better for the whole health and wellness thing. When it gets really cold, we have our PT hat, which can double as a service hat when it gets too cold, and we have to wear our fleeces, which are just like the Air Force ones, but ours are cooler because it has Army. But with the gloves and the jacket, you have to wear the gloves and the hats. But with winter PTs, you have your jacket like this, and you can wear that with any of the PT gear, but you cannot wear the pants without the jacket, which is cool because I love these pants. Pretty much that's really awesome. And then we have our combatives gear, which you learn when you learn how to hand-to-hand combat fight. You have shorts. I got these shorts for being good at combatives. And I got this shirt that matches it, so I can do combatives in the IT and take level 1 and level 2 combatives. That's my gear. So your first week of basic training, it's called reception week, is where you get your finances and your shots and your processing, your paperwork, your placement. You get this really cool number that is now your name. Like my name for the first 2 weeks of basic training was 644, and I still answer to that number today. You basically, when you go to reception, you get your CIF gear, which is where you get your awesome cool stuff, like your flashlights and your towels that are very useful. And then you get also different gear like your ASUs and your rank, which you cannot wear until after you go through basic training, because you don't earn your rank until after. You get boots like your winter boots when it's winter time, and you have to wear them. It's part of the Army policy. When it's winter, you have to wear winter boots. And then if you're really cool, you get to wear high-speed boots like these after you graduate basic training and go into AIT, which are really comfy and really light. Better for your feet and all sorts of stuff. When it comes to PT gear for shoe wear, you can wear any type of running shoe that you want, as long as they're not high tops. And they can be any color. Like one of my best friends, my battle buddy, has a pair of bright yellow ones. And then my other battle buddy has bright pink ones. And he loves those shoes. I love him. He's a lovely man. He is one of my what we call a platoon guide, and which is like your flight sergeant and your flight commander. So I was actually one of those when I was in basic training for a little while, and then yet again in AIT for a little while. I commanded all males when I went to AIT, 52 of them, and I was the only female. And so I actually gained more respect because I was able to do my job and do it well. I knew what I was doing, and I thought it was very, very nice that I got the opportunity to do those and grow in my leadership experience. And when I was in JROTC, like all y'all, I was actually a flight commander, and my fiance was the flight sergeant. And that's where the funny story comes in, that we got together, and we're still together now. So it was very cool. So basic training, like I said, is not hard. It really is not. All you do is condition your body, and you gain experience. Like very, very. It's not too physically demanding. You learn. You get there, and you reach your max. You put forth the effort that you get back. In basic training, we learn different weapons and qualify, and what we call zero weapons. Like this is one of my zeroing charts that I did with an M16, which hits me about here, which is a bit long for my body. When I hold an M16, I actually have to carry it differently than most people, which your elbow's not supposed to be up. It's supposed to be tucked into your body, but since it's a little long, I have to cock my arm up a little bit. But when I go to the range, which is where you shoot your weapon to qualify, I actually have to lay at a 90-degree angle to shoot it because it's too long for my arms and my body. But I was able to qualify, and yet I'm in the Army still, and it's awesome. And I even got this really cool badge right here for it. My fiance, he has a better badge than that because he can shoot better than me, but he's in the infantry as a tanker, and he's an amazing marksman. When it comes to zeroing weapons, like the M16, you use different knobs on the front sight post, which is the top of the weapon that you look through with your eye, and it has different gauges on it, like a wind gauge, and you use it to center your shot into that little circle, and you have to get 10 shots out of that to qualify to get on to the next stage of qualification where you qualify for the Army during basic training. And so this is one of my previous ones that has a very, very tight shot group. And the outside of my weapon right here. So this was a precursor to this one that's much better. This one is. This one's more colorful. That says no. But it got me a go. So, I don't know. But in my job, I'm an 88 mic. I most likely will not be carrying an M16. I'll be carrying a Beretta or a pistol because I'll be driving a truck and don't have a weapon that big in my vehicle. I don't even know we have a lot of room in different kinds of trucks. But pretty much, it's pretty cool to qualify with weapons. And then we have what's called a ruck march. A ruck march is when you have a weighted backpack or a rucksack that you carry with you like this. My rucksack, I can go up to 80 pounds, but most likely I'll just be doing about 30, 40 pounds when I do light, long distances. But shorter distances, I put more weight into it. This is what I got trained with, which is an assault pack, a smaller assault pack. And it's just a 3-day assault pack, which can carry up to 6 different uniforms into it, and along with water and ammo. An M16 that you carry along with this, normally is like this when you go on a ruck march, and you're in a staggered column formation. So how you have columns is like 2 rows, right? And you have people in between people, so you're not right next to one another, because that's easier to get shot with. So you have space in between you in case one of you go down. When you're carrying your weapon, which weighs 8 pounds, unloaded, loaded, it weighs about 9.5. you sometimes raise it above your head and your arm works different muscles. So you gain muscle capacity. Like I went into the Army 142 pounds. I now weigh 115. I lost a lot of weight, but I gained a lot of muscle. And am great, in shape. I love it. I love doing PT. I crave it. It's an addiction for me, and it's a great addiction because it makes you stronger, makes you better prepared for going out into the field and being able to survive in a fight. Different weapons, like the weapon I mostly will be carrying if I'm outside my truck, it would be a saw, which is a big machine gun, which is really cool, and you literally have to stand kind of backwards if you're standing up with it, and you go, and it's really fun. And then a 240 Bravo is kind of like a saw, but built just differently, just a little bit. You still load it the same way. Slide up the tray and look down and cool things. It's still a machine gun, and so it still has that kickback, and it's not that bad of a kickback. It's real fun. Those weigh up to 12 to 18 pounds. Just depends on how loaded it is, how much you want to carry with you if you have a tripod with you. The rounds for those are like this big in drums and stuff like that if you want a little drum to it. And those can weigh up to 12 pounds as well. So
How far do they shoot?
Far, really far.
Like as far as you can see, 500 yards or a mile? Or, your truck's supposed to take out people?
300. You're supposed to take out a large amount of people. It's to kill personnel. That is that main job of that weapon, is to distract and kill personnel. Underneath, like if you're in a heavy firefight, that is what you want to have.
Infantry.
To get in and out of place. It's different for me because I wasn't trained for infantry tactics, but I know how to clear a room, I know how to take down people, I know how to shoot if I need to, and kill. My best range is at a 300 mark, which makes me a better sniper than a close range shooter. I can hit, with my 300 mark, I can hit 25 out of 30, 300 marks. So I think that's a cool thing.
How did you get into the career field you're in?
Oh, Idiot Mike. I've always loved driving. I used to race back when I was in high school and go out with my buddies and do that at night at like 1 o'clock in the morning and come to school really tired.
You never tell me about that part.
Yeah, I don't tell a lot of people about that. But I absolutely love driving, and so my goal in life was to become either a race car driver or a driver or a PT stud and do PT and be like a PE teacher and stuff. So I went into the Army and I was like, okay, so this is going to be physically training, it's going to be mentally training, this is going to help me build, and I get to drive big trucks and drive over big explosives and go boom, like crazy. I always love that, and be helping out my battle buddies, because I think it's the best thing in the world just to be going out driving with your battle buddies and just talk about random things.
What has been your biggest surprise about the Army?
The biggest surprise is how little and few females are. You don't see a lot of them, but when you do see them, they're either in higher ranks than you are, or they're like they randomly show up. Like in the middle, like I go to the PX, which is our Walmart. You get anything there, and you see more female personnel in there than you do actually out in the field. But my MOS, my job, we have more males in our job than we do females. Like I graduated with my class of 132. There was only 10 females. And so the big push right now is for getting females into that MOS, because we are good at it. And I think we should be more into it. But that's my personal belief, not the whole entire Army's. Go ahead.
Tell me about the hairiest position you've been in as an 88 Mike.
A hairiest?
The hairiest, the scariest moment.
Okay, the scariest moment so far that I've been in is what we call the confidence course. It's where you drive up literally like a 45-degree angle, and then you have to stop. And there's literally like a drop off. You have to stop in time. Like you literally cannot keep your foot off the brake. Because if you keep your foot off the brake, you will roll right over. And then you can get hurt, which is not a good thing. But you literally stop, and then you reverse it, and then you pull to the side, and then go down at a 45-degree angle, and you just chop it off like that. We have these really cool simulators that we do before we get into the trucks, the different kind of trucks, that you literally are sitting in the cab of the truck, and it's motion activated. And so you are sitting there and you're driving, and the wheel's about like this big, and so you're turning and left and right and switching up on the buttons and pulling the brakes, which it depending on if you have a trailer or not. You have to pull 1 or 2 brakes, and they're all air brakes, so they're very touchy. So you barely tap it, and you're like, and if you hit it too hard, you actually can go through the windshield of the cab, which is not nice. It would hurt you, and would not advise that. My favorite truck is actually on my watch, right here, that my fiance gave me for Christmas. I'll pass it around. It's an older model, a 5-ton, which is really cool. Which you'll see those a lot if you go through basic training, because that's one of the main vehicles the drill sergeants use to get around. And the haul gear, which you'll be wearing a lot, which is your IBA, which is one of the first vest we used in the Afghanistan war, and also in Iraq. It's a big vest that it's all Velcro, and with this heavy armor plating that can actually stop an M16 at 70 meters, I think, if I remember correctly. But it still has its defects, but it's to get you trained to the weight that you're going to be carrying with different body armors. You quite literally wear that thing all the time. And then you also have your ACH, which is your helmet, and it will give you major helmet hair. I know, because my hair is always like this if I don't comb it. And so we have we always have to have that chin strapped and buckled and carry that. So my IBA actually weighed 40 pounds, 20 in the front, 20 in the back, and I would do push-ups with it, and it got me better at push-ups and things, and carrying weight loads. And at the end of the day, when you take it off to go to bed, you're like, oh, sweet Jesus, thank you. Because it's strenuous on your body, but it gets your body better. It honestly does. People ask me all the time about DFAC food, which is our chow time, our food. It's not that bad. There's some days where you're just like, I cannot eat this. What are you thinking? But at the end of the day, you are always hungry enough to eat anything. How many calories you burn, you constantly want to consume food. Like today, I did PT this morning, and I'm gonna go do PT after this out in Camp Verde. Yeah, out in Camp Verde, and gonna probably burn over 3,000 calories each time.
Did you get into the Army using your credit in?
JROTC, yes, I did.
Tell them about that.
Okay, so like I say, education is key to higher success and gets you farther in life. I used the JROTC credits, the 2.5 years that I had, to get me rank, which is more money. Cha-ching. Yes, cha-ching, and then benefits and all sorts of things. Use this. I use a little bit of college credits that I have with fire science and qualified to be what's called a hot shot. Use that, JROTC. I also used the some classes that the Army was offering to get all of the rank that I have right now. I have 6 months until I can get my next promotion, which is not that far. And then after my next promotion, I just have to go to what's called NCO training, and then I will be a sergeant. So I'm not that far away from becoming a sergeant, and my ultimate goal, if I do become a sergeant, is to become a drill sergeant and train the future of the Army to be the best they can be, because that is the whole thing in life, to be the best you can be possibly. Yes, sir?
Were there any female drill sergeants?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I had this fabulous, I loved her to death. She was like a super mom for us. Her name was Drill Sergeant Kimball, and she is a PT wonder. She got a score of 360 something on her APFT, which is our PT test, and she can knock out 100 push-ups in a minute. Wow. It's crazy, and she can run like super fast, and she's like this tall, quite literally, and she weighs a little bit more than she does than I do, and her favorite weapon is the saw, and she carries 2 of those. She goes into combat. Yes.
Was she your senior or your kill hat?
I'm sorry?
Was she your senior drill instructor or the one who was...
She was,
whose job was devoted to make your life
she was, we don't have, we have, all of our drill sergeants are the same, except we have what's our platoon, drill sergeant, like master or whatever. So we hardly see those people, because they're not, like, in our lives, apparently. I don't know why, but we never see them. But we have either 2 or 3 drill sergeants per platoon, and we have up to 60 not cadets, but privates in our basic training platoons. And after basic training, once you graduate, the day you graduate, you can start wearing your rank. And so I'm a PFC now, and been a PFC, and now I'm an 88 my PFC. And so in AIT, it's a bit different. We don't have drill sergeants anymore. We have sergeants, at least for my MOS. Some MOSs, you actually do basic training and job training with drill sergeants. The same drill sergeants you've had all year. Like MPs, they go through basic training and their job training with the same people. Or being a tanker, as my fiance Tori is, he went through that training as well to being a tanker. So I think it's really cool. Yes?
What's the funniest thing that happened to you in boot?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, let me just tell you. All right. My little brother has actually seen our basic training video. I wish I had it, but I don't have it with me, and I don't have my computer because it crashed last night. I broke it. But the funniest thing in basic training was this guy who just came into our basic training because he got what's called recycled because he broke his wrist and went to what we call Broken Bravo in Fort Sill. He got healed, and so he came to our basic training, and he brought his cell phone. What? In basic training, you may not have your cell phone unless it's given to you at appropriate times. And so he thought it would be funny to keep it away and take it to him with sick call one day, and he got caught. And so our drill sergeant was waiting for one of us to notice that he had a cell phone and turn him in, or for him to come and tell the drill sergeant about his phone and give it to him.
You mean show integrity?
Oh yes.
Oh.
We have, in the Army we have core values.
So how many people then turned him in?
Oh, we were going to turn him in the day after my drill sergeant found out. But our drill sergeant found out before then, and helped us that day with PT. That was the funniest day in the world because we had to do push-ups. Like, our push-ups are like this, and we're going 1, 2, 3, HTC. We like to talk on the cell phone. And we're sitting there, and we have to do 2,000 push-ups. But, yes, as a collective group, but it wasn't too horrible. But we were sitting there making fun of him because he's what we call a battle buddy screw over, being the nice term. But afterwards, after we got done with our cell phones, that cell phone incident, our drill sergeant went through his locker, and because if you have contraband, they have the right to search your locker at any time. Now, they found so many cookies that he stole from the DFACs that, I'm serious, from that point on, he was the Cookie Monster. HTC Cookie Monster. And so, our drill sergeant literally had him take one of our laundry bags that looked like this. Where's the laundry bag? Our laundry bags like this. Okay? And fill them all up and made them walk around like Santa and give us each a cookie. Yeah, he was just like, here you go, here you go. He ended up getting recycled again. And so he went to...
He knew the rules.
He knew the rules. He literally got told he was getting recycled the day of graduation because how bad he screwed us over. And not just us, but our entire company. Because of his incident, we lost what's our honor platoon banner and honor CLS, which is combat lifesaver, which are our medic training ribbons. And then also we got our cell phones taken away for 2 weeks more than what we were supposed to.
Tell us about your high school experience and how it prepared you for this. What you wish you did different, or better, or worse?
Stayed in school. I wish I stayed in school because I broke what I was thinking and dropped out of high school in my sophomore year after I came. I went to North Point and dropped out of school for half a semester and then came to PHS. And then started hanging out with the ROTC kids and joined ROTC and met my good battles and friends who are actually in the back over there. But they are really great, and I cannot wait until you all either get on with your lives and go to college or go to your career. And definitely, I say stay in school. It's not worth it to drop out. It's not worth it to get bad grades. Because honestly, what it gets you outweighs more than what it can hurt you. Seriously. I mean, I got rank, I got more money to spend. I get to go to Canada soon, and I get to go to Mexico soon, and then go out, and once my fiance comes home from Korea, I get to go and see him at his base and stay there for a week or 2 weeks. After my leave time accumulates to more than 30 days. So we're going to go do that, have fun. And like I say, education is the key to everything. Honestly, it is. And find stuff that you love. Like I wanted to be a firefighter so bad, and then I went through the schooling and I was like, okay, maybe not. Did that for a little while, but ended up doing a job I absolutely adore. I love driving. I love picking up loads. I love being able to just drive around the world.
How long did you enlist?
I have a contract for 8 years, but I have 4 years of active duty, which means that the Army owns me. Well, not really owns me, but sends me where they want to go, where the people want to go, what the people need at this time. And then I have the rest of my time reserved, which is 4 years. And that means I just come once a month to a base and check in with them and do APFTs every once in a while and make sure I'm still physically fit. And if they need any more of us 88 mics, then they'll call people out of reserves. Yes. What are your ribbons called? Okay, these are my Army service ribbons. This is saying that I completed training, and then this is saying that I'm in the Army and serving my country.
So difficult.
This is my 88 mic pin. This means I'm qualified for any truck that I'm qualified for my CDL, which I mean I have in my wallet, which quite literally looks like a piece of paper. This is my license, okay, which looks a lot different than our driver's license, okay. And then this is my CAT card, which is what you get in the Army and any military service that gets you anything. It's really cool.
5 minutes. Any other questions,
Yes, sir?
guys? Ask questions.
Do you get to keep your CDL when you get out of the Army?
My CDL? Yes, I will. Yes.
What's your favorite MRE?
Oh my goodness. MREs. Let me just tell you.
God.
Oh my goodness. The fun we can have with MREs. So our favorite thing in MREs. Okay, an MRE is a meal ready to eat, which is this little package, this little brown package that comes with this dehydrated food and all sorts of different kind of food that you have this little packet that you put the packet of food into, and then you fill it up with your water, which when you go to basic training, you'll either get a camel pack, which is really fun to squirt people with when they're sleeping, or you have canteens. Don't tell anybody I did that, but I did it. Or you have canteens that you carry with you on this belt, and it looks literally like you're weighted down by water. But you fill the little packet up with water, just like a little bit, so it doesn't like burst into flames and stuff, because it can. But it heats the sulfate up, and it heats your food that's inside that little packet up, so you can eat it. But inside of some of the MREs contain candy, which is like the best thing ever, because in basic training you don't get candy. Your candy is cough drops. And quite literally, if you can obtain different flavors of cough drop, that makes you the richest person in basic. We have great MREs. My favorite MRE is a cheese tortellini, vegetarian, because I love tortellinis, and it's good, and it always has peanut butter. Peanut butter is the most tradable item, by the way. Yes?
Did you ever try and trick anybody with the gum?
Oh, well,
Did you trick anybody?
See, the funny thing is that none of the gum is lactative anymore.
What?
Yeah. None of it's lactative anymore. Like, it doesn't affect you at all. None. Zero.